Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, here for a little bit of a discussion video. Small locks versus big locks, which are better in NBA 2K26. So, we're going to be talking about everything 6'4 all the way up to 6'9, what I would deem a lockdown build capable style of height. So 6'4 being the absolute minimum I think you should ever be while being considered a lockdown. This could be really good still. Mobile, very perim defense based, and also still bringing a lot of elite three-pointer to the table that we will be talking about this build in particular, bringing to the table. But then more in the line of like the pure locks. We have 6'6 to 6'7, obviously the type of stuff where it's like the true blue fight through locks. Can't really switch super ideally because of their lack of defensive rebound a little bit sometimes, but can still somewhat guard bigs while also just guard ISO pretty well at the same time. And then also to be mentioned is something along the lines of a 6'8 to a 6'9. Something that can come out here with really good versatility, switchability, and be really able to guard on screens at an elite level. And because they can switch on everything, whether it's guarding the point guard or guarding the big man, brings a lot to the table on versatility. We're here to debate which is the best in 2K26. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to 1,000 likes. Alright, so to start us off, as if that summary that I kind of just gave of everything wasn't enough, I have my ideas and thoughts kind of, visualized right here on the screenshot. So again, 6'4 to 6'5, I think I grouped together a little bit more to be like the same style. A lot of like a high three-point potential build that I think belongs on the hash on offense, not so much the corner, whereas things like the 6'6 to even 6'9 are more of a corner offensive player, in my opinion. They don't really have the super elite three-pointer that you'd want on the hash, and obviously to be a lockdown in more often cases than not, you'd want to have a bigger wingspan to justify your defensive capabilities a little bit more. This right here is just a kind of off-meta style that I kind of think should come around on 2K a little bit more, in my opinion, and I can see the vision of something like this being extremely powerful on the offensive and defensive end, so it's a little bit of a sacrifice, if you will, but you can still make a 6'4", 6'5 pure lock. I mean, at the end of the day, speed and agility is king when it comes to playing on-ball defense. I'm here to tell you all right now, I'm not a big believer in strength anymore. I'll have videos on that very soon, and it's just something you're going to hear me say a lot of the whole not buying into strength aspect quite as much, because truly, I do think agility and speed are the end-all be-all of the perimeter defensive aspect of things, as well as obviously still factoring in perimeter for on-ball menace, related badges and stuff like that as well. Anyway, for the 6'6 and 6'7, this is a true elite perimeter defender. It's what really embodies the idea of a pure lock. It's truly what you envision of dudes fighting through screens, being extremely fast while still having the, agile but big at the same time. Not quite as elite as a switchable defender as the other end of things of the 6'8 to 6'9, but the right size to guard ISO at a really elite level, fight through screens, and just be bigger in general as a fight through lock compared to the 6'4", 6'5", which can help your case for contests, paint defense, and other things, along the lines of stuff like that. And then again, just one more recap of that 6'8", 6'9", switchable, rebound capable, aka 80 plus, whether that's 80, 85, 92, even 96 in some cases as well. I don't think 99 is worth going for because then you lose out on a lot of the agility and speed that you'd be looking for out of a height like this. So either way, point is, it's not meant to be the best rebounder on the court. It's not meant to be the most insane fighting through screens type build, but when you pair two of these together in the screen game, whether it's on the front end and the back end of a screen, aka guarding the ball handler and guarding the center in this type of a situation, I think that it really unlocks the ability of this. Now, if you were to come out here with something on the back end that is 6'8 or 6'9, and then the on-ball defender can't switch on screens, I think the value shrinks a little bit more. Or again, if this is the on-ball defender and the person guarding the center is 7 foot and can't switch, that shrinks the value even more as well, because then your versatility is not on display. It's more so you being versatile, but your counterpart not being versatile, and then you can't even shine the way you'd like to. So this one is more of a situational, if you ask me. It very much so depends on your surrounding cast and what is around you, and that's why you will hear me say that in the general public of things, I would think that this gets devalued a little bit more. Things like the 6'6 and 6'7 is a lot more popular and really easy to use because you don't depend on your teammates and your surrounding cast to always be the thing that you'd want and to be able to synergize with you so well. But anyway, point is, with high levels of, the rebound chaser, the paint patroller, a serious threat on interior defense when it comes to lays and close shots because of your size and interior defense, as well as a threat off the corner as a help defender. This is an off-ball defender, is a much bigger threat than something like the 6'6" or, 6'4" or anything in between these as well. My point is that this can be a true off-ball lockdown that can cause a lot of havoc and a lot of threat in terms of if I am running a 5-out offense as a point guard, or if I'm on the pick and roll as a center. The things that you can like threaten that player with as far as your shot blocking ability, as well as also the rebounding, is a really helpful thing, because not always will you have your best rebounder able to crash the boards. I mean, if you have one guy on the court that has 99 rebound, and then there's only one other guy on the court that even has 80 plus rebound, and that's going to be the only guy that can get the board if that center gets shot on, aka if I pass the ball to that player's person that they're guarding, and then they have to contest the shot. Now he can't go for the board, that 99 defensive rebound guy. So all your teammates are going to have to compile around as the only other rebound crashers. And if you don't have this type of versatility off ball somewhere, it will hurt you, obviously. So I want to show some love to the 6'8", 6'9" as an off ball defender. But again, for on ball purposes and fighting through screens, these are absolutely the two kind of categories you want to look into. But anyway, yeah, as far as like late arriving help defender or on pick and rolls, drive, stuff like that, definitely what I was mentioning. More of a menace when screens are involved, as its versatility shines rather than being a specialist at guarding ISO or fighting through screens or anything like that. So again, the versatility, playing alongside other defenders that are also versatile, is very important. The more versatility you have on the court, the more a 6'8", 6'9" lock shines. Alright, so let's detail these a little bit. Now, these aren't the most 100% perfect fine-tuned builds. If you actually want to see something like that, what I might be doing on stream on the day of me uploading this video, or the next day, I'm not quite sure just yet, but I'm going to be looking into how to make a better version of the 6'9", 99 block lockdown that we've made on the channel and to have like showcased a lot of times. But I want to start at the shorter heights. So at 6'4", as you can see, what I have right here is, in theory, a build that if you specialized in your defense, you would have the ability to get the 99 perim, even still. This actually, as you'll see in just a second, and I probably will just show you this in the cap breaker screen instead as well, because I think it's a little bit more valuable to do so. This, however, is going to be spending cap breakers on extremely expensive ratings rather than ones that give a ton of, extra attributes. Like if I were to do standing dunk, it'd give like plus 18 or something, right? But obviously we don't care about the like mass amounts of stuff. I want value, and what we're going to be looking at in this case is going to be plus 5ing the perim, plus 5ing the three-pointer, and then plus 5ing the speed, and then get a little bit more on the agility. As you can see, it can get 96 speed, 93 agility. Now, if you wanted to, you could retool some attributes here and there, like, fine-tune, tweak a little bit. If you wanted the ability to actually get 96 speed instead, boom, I'm just going to showcase the 95 speed. I don't think, like I said, it's not something that I'm trying to show you the most crazy optimized thing in the world. I just want to show you a build that kind of gives the image of what I'm thinking of when I think of a small lock, something that is 6'4", 6'5", and what it brings to the table. Alright, so as you can see, cool little thing that we did right here. It's one cap breaker to get 87 dunk. You could probably find better value. I'm not gonna lie to you, this build was thrown together a little bit quickly. It's not really meant to be the most crazy fine-tuned thing, like I've already said. So don't get on me too hard for the build. It's not something that we spent a ton of time on. But my point is that, as you can see, you would end up with the 99 perim, you would still have 95 speed, 93 agility. The strength we are really not caring about, to be fair, and it brings a lot to the table offensively still. We're talking a small guard that gets things like 86 speed with ball, 81 ball handle for a couple of decent sigs, even still. I know it's not something crazy like you would expect out of a lot of 6'4s, but consider that this is a two-way sharp build. We're talking 99 three-pointer, and remind you, if you specialize in something like defense, you could at that point either spend your specialization caps on perim D, or you could spend it on even speed if you'd like to. But my point even more so is that you'd have legend badges on shooting as a lockdown. People really don't think about something like that, and I understand this isn't exactly the most menacing defender build ever, but I must say, I think a lot of people overrate the idea of a long wingspan and a super tall build in general, and are sleeping on something like this, to be fair, where you still have the elite speed, the elite perim D, on-ball menace on legend for that matter as well, and to still be having the ability to lane with the 85 steal. But to bring something to the table offensively with gold lightning launch and good dribble styles to go with, and decent sigs for that matter as well, and even still contact dunks while having the 99 3-point, I think this is the crazy level of two-way that we really are preaching. But the point is, this cannot be like, replicated if we're talking 6'7", 6'6", 6'8", 6'9" builds, anything like that. They can't impose that same offensive threat by any means. So anyway, that is where a 6'4" or a 6'5" build would be winning, is the fact that you can get something like 99 three-pointer, or in general, really high elite attributes. It's the only reason I think you should make a 6'4" or 6'5" lock. And I'm not here to discredit that at all. I think it is something that can actually play very powerfully in this game. Now, let me tell you guys from my own first-hand perspective. The meter dunk, obviously, I'm not going to lie to you, it really doesn't matter how tall or how good the person's interior defense is. if you are in the right guarding position, you will shrink that meter. Now, you can't guard people's driving laser close shot at an elite level if you're 6'4". Let's be real. I don't think that's going to be something that you can specialize in. But I must say, for me, as someone who plays on a 6'8" slasher build that is playing a lot more drive heavy, and simply I just want to get past this defender and get to the hoop, something that's fast and agile is truly my biggest kryptonite. I don't care how tall the build is. I prefer 6'9", 6'10" builds to be guarding me as a slasher in this game because they don't have the foot speed to keep up. They truly can't guard, like, you know, wide open threes and also still guard the drive at the same time. This right here can cut you off from the drives, and even still, if it's in the right spot for the meter dunks, can defend those as well. So, truth be told, I know it seems like it's a troll thing to make a small lock in this game, but if you're going to go with a fight through lock, I might argue that, in my personal opinion, I think a 6'4", 6'5" lock could be better than a 6'6" or a 6'7" lock because it's going to do the same job of fighting through on the screens defensively because a 6'6", 6'7" is not going to be fighting. It's not going to be switchable on screens. In a perfect world that you completely optimize it for it, it could be, potentially. I will not discredit it entirely. We'll show the 6'6" that I ended up cooking up a little bit, but and some of y'all might make better 6'6" builds 100%. I'm not here to, you know, dispute that. So anyway, let's really try and replicate that level of, you know, pure lock defensive capability on a 6'6" build. What I want to show you before we go into that though is exactly what I was just talking about of like making a 6'6" or a 6'7" build or anything like that. You're not going to get that same level of 3-point threat. So a 6'6" minimum wingspan can get, as you can see, a 94.3. If you go 6'7" and go min wingspan though, it's 92. I will say, where this actually can be provided nearly the same value if you wanted to invest into something crazy like that is to go with the mid-range instead, and you would simply just be lacking limitless range rather than, you know, all the other badges. So you could still get a lot of those elite badges on the 6'6", 6'7", anything like that. It's not a really huge deal. But again, where this build stands out, or the 6'7" as well, I don't want to completely discredit it because I low-key think the 6'7" build is a little bit better, but the 6'6" does get a good bit of extra physicals. Let's go ahead and showcase it real quick. So 6'6", 183 on the weight. It's just where I ended up at as far as like it was decent to do. Didn't hurt anything. I wasn't going down on any like, you know, speed or agility or anything like that. So point is, anyway, I want to show the 6'7" build while also being a max wingspan, and then take this down as far as we can on the weight. As you can see, the max speed that we can get is going to be 91 agility as well. So anyway, pretty much what my point is right here is I think going 6'6" with a max wingspan and then pretty much minimum weight as well is actually how we should go about this in terms of unlocking really elite speed and agility while still maintaining really good height as well. Now, again, like I just said, I think this is going to be more of a fight through lockdown, but this has the potential to be a true blue pure lock. I'm talking like 99 perim, 99 steel, still have silver, you know, high flying denier and bronze paint patroller, and we're tall enough to even get it in comparison to a 6'4", obviously can't get paint patroller. So it's something that you would be lacking on a build like that. Not to mention, we can get the offensive rebound high enough while it's also very cheap for that matter. I mean, to show you why we would do something like this, because I'm someone that would 100% prefer to go D-board over O-board. But as you can see, when you try and put that same type of a cost on the defensive rebound instead of the O-board, you're actually only going to be able to get up to a 60 D-board, but this can go all the way up to 70 offensive rebound, and it's extremely cheap. You get the silver box out beast and the bronze rebound chaser while doing so, and it can at least fight on the boxes somewhat decently. So anyway, point is 99 perim, 99 steel. We're talking legend defensive badges everywhere. We are obviously lacking the immovable enforcer. It is something that technically you could get at like a higher level if you wanted to go heavier on the weight. As you're going to see though, it doesn't take a huge hit on your speed and agility. What I'm thinking more so though is just for the sake of like the comfortability of putting a bunch of extra different attributes on. I'm not really a believer in strength, like I just told y'all. If you really thought you were, what I can say about the build is that can actually achieve those really high levels of strength while maintaining your good speed and agility. You're only going to lose like 1 or 2 of each. So if you're someone that prefers stuff like that rather than to have some offensive bag, like for instance, if you're cool with the minimum pass act, if you don't want to be a 99 perim, 99 steel kind of guy, if you don't want to have 87 dunk while pairing it with like the 75 vert or anything as well, okay, that's fine. You know, I'm just here to give you a couple options. Anyway, what I want to talk about of why these builds could be useful and valuable is because it brings that same type of elite defensive stuff that we were just talking about of being 6'4", but you're instead a max wingspan 6'6" that provides, you know, obviously way better contests, better interior defensive aspect of things. Granted, like I just told y'all though, the meter dunk, it doesn't really care what your interior defense or size is or anything like that, as long as you're in good guarding position. So truly something like that is a little bit of a pseudo effect, and that's why I'm trying to devalue a little bit of talking about the 6'6" and 6'7" locks. You're gonna think of me as a hater when I'm talking about them in this video, but just understand that I'm really coming from my own perspective of something like this. Anyway, even still with the 6'6", we can get the 83 3-pointer even when at max wingspan, which you can't do at 6'7". So that's why I also thought this was kind of cool to be making a build like this. You get something like bronze limitless while still maintaining a couple of decent, shooting badges. Not the greatest spot to be in terms of like, value threshold or anything, but it's an okay spot to be. Anyway, decent pass sack, decent ball handle. We can still put the ball on the floor, still have the Levine dribble style as well. I ended up going with 91 speed on this so that we could get this all the way up, and it actually happened to be cheaper. As you can see, if I take my agility down, I can't even get the speed, whereas if I took the speed down, even with the speed of ball that it's tethered to, I can't get the agility up any higher. So it just happened to be the better attribute to put on in terms of the cost efficiency. But yeah, and once again, this is not perfectly tuned for cap breakers. It's not the most goated build. I'm just here for talking points and debates. But yeah, where a build like this shines, if you ask me, is more of a casual scene, if you will, where something like Rec, for instance, if you were to play with your teammates that maybe aren't as much with the communications, right? If they're not with the whole switch calls, they don't want to be super duper locked in on whether they should switch a screen or not, whether they should run rotates or anything like that. Something like this can overcome any of that lack of competence from the rest of your teammates, if you get what I'm saying, and truly carry on the defensive end. You don't have to worry about a single thing of whatever the rest of your teammates can do. If you're that guy, you can tell the person guarding you, like, guarding the screens with you, to just sit low, don't help, sit back, let me carry on defense, let me fight through everything, get jump contests if I'm not in the good range, and to have ridiculous speed, and then get out on the break with like good dunk, good three, and then somewhat capable ball handling as well, and just truly be the lockdown. You know what I mean? So that's where something like this really is more elite than the 6'4" and 6'5" we were just showing. However, it doesn't have the versatility that we would like as far as what it brings to the table. It's actually kind of decent though. I'm not going to sit here and call 78 block and 75 interior D, as well as still silver box out beast, impossible to switch onto a big. I think the lack of height can hurt you a little bit in terms of getting good shot contest on close shots. So if the big is someone that is spamming a lot of close shots and driving lays and stuff like that, that's where I think you would see a little bit more of a tough look, if you ask me. But when it comes to meter dunking, you can guard that. I would 100% agree with something like that. So anyway, once again, you could have 95 speed, you could have 93 agility at 6'6" is crazy, and then to still have the capabilities of getting double 99 is pretty cool. I will say, obviously the steal is a little bit more oriented for the lanes, but I gotta tell y'all, if I ran into people that have anything like Hoff or Legend Interceptor on the court, that type of threat truly does exist, and you can step and bait everywhere. It is insane the capabilities that Legend Interceptor and 99 Steal provides, and when a build like this is on the court, it actually makes you more of that off-ball threat like I was talking about, that like something like the 6'8" and 6'9" brings to the table, but they bring more of a shot blocking threat to the table. This brings more of the passing lane threat to the table, where you can step into areas on the court and really bait, really get in people's heads when it comes to like, is this a good dunk opportunity? Is it not? Is this my shot? Is it not? Because you're helping off the corner and instead you're like helping toward that wing and taking the shot to opportunity away from the guard, baiting that pass to the corner, boom, pass happens to the corner, you're in that lane, you're super fast, you're rangy, you have like good block as well to be able to do stuff like that. So it truly can be the pure lock on the court. And then lastly, we have the 6'9", 99 block lockdown that's withstood the test of time in a major way. A build like this has really been good since day one. I mean, what it eventually will do, because I've seen this like the back of my hand at this point, is we can cap break into the 87 driving dunk, we can cap break the 75 speed of ball on, 80 ball handle as well. You can do it all pretty manageably. Now, like I told you, I do want to load up stream pretty soon, and we can do one of those like group build testing things that I did and actually enjoyed quite a bit. It was a really fun time with everybody that was on that. I want to find a better way to make this and optimize it, maybe with like figuring out if we can cap break the steal and block in a crazy way. But to be fair, I don't know. I mean, and I might just drop the block down to like 93 and the interiority down to 77. But what this build can do is it can get Legend Paint Patroller, Legend High Flying Denier, still have the Gold Interceptor at 6'9", and at 6'9" have 86 speed, 85 agility, which is pretty crazy, and to still maintain things like maybe bronze on defensive badges like Immovable Enforcer and Post Lock and stuff like that as well. Now, I mean, I am team no strength on something like this anyway. If you wanted to take it down, the thing is that it's tied to the interior D, so when you're already this high, you might as well just invest into the strength and call it okay, and like go for that brick wall, immovable enforcer, post lock, all that stuff, right? You might as well. So anyway, the point is, this is a true switchable lock. If you can't really, and I'm not here to disrespect the viewers or anything like that, but if you can't guard guards with a build like this, I think you're just not either doing it well enough, or also it could be your surrounding cast not being good enough either. Because I will acknowledge, like I just said, if you're playing on the front side of the screen, aka guarding ball with a build like this, and let me just go to the cap breaker screen so we can keep chatting, but if you're guarding ball with a build like this and you have a 7-footer or a 7'4" even, albeit on the back side of a screen, you're going to struggle a little bit more with a build like this. This is what, like we said in the intro of the video, very dependent on the scenery around you. What is your surrounding cast capable of in terms of its versatility? If it's something that's also switchable, you're going to eat on a build like this, 100%. So, as far as the cap breaker potential, speed with ball, boom, 75. You can bring offensive bag to the table. You have driving dunk capabilities with the contacts eventually as well. You could even still have like meter dunk potential pretty quickly, for that matter, with like, I would say 3 cap breakers. It's not going to be perfect, but you could still bring that to the table. And then the ball handle can still go up to the 60 or the 70 for the pro SIGs. You could have 75, 80, whatever you'd like to be able to bring more stuff, to the bag offensively as well. Whether that's like some behind the backs, some just things that, and even for that matter, 70 even gets you something like Jimmy Butler escape moves. Anyway, not to really yap about that too much. This is obviously a pure lock, more like a traffic cone offensively. It's not meant to be a super duper threat offensively. It's just meant to be a nasty defensive build. So with 92 perimeter and obviously good agility, speed, you get things like the gold perimeter defensive badges as well. But we're cap breaking the block to 99. And then we're also going to be, like I said, cap breaking some offensive things as well. But this build can come online really early. All you need is just those 5 block cap breakers. And honestly, you could even still play on it pretty early without those. So yeah, gold box out beast, silver rebound chaser. It's once again that type of a threat that we were talking about of being a versatile lock. Being able to actually rebound with bigs is important. And being able to actually box them out is important, because it's all cool. It's cool and all if you have like crazy high block and crazy high interior D and stuff, and you can guard bigs, but can you rebound with them is the major question. Because if you get put on a big man as a 6'6" and below lock or anything like that, and you don't have the good rebounding at all, let alone just the size like a build like this does, you can't really hang with them. And at that point, if you got switched onto a big, it's cool if the person that you're playing with can guard a guard. The question is, can you even rebound with the big at all? If you got stuck down there in a one-on-one the whole game, how many times off 10 shots would you even grab the board on him in a one-on-one? That's where the lack of switching really is something that needs to be talked about, because it's important. It really is. So a build like this actually can hold its own on the rebounds with bigs, as well as, holy moly, can it hold its own in the paint. I mean, 99 block paired with the 89 interior D. This is something that truly, I think, I saw the vision for it early in the game, and I still see it now. It really can still exist on the court, whether that's even in the corner as a rotate dropper. Oh my goodness, I don't even want to think about this. Like, I've played against builds like that were 6'9" with 99 block coming out the corner in proving grounds, and it is so menacing, fellas. Like, when you are on the ISO or the pick and rolls or anything like that, and something like this starts dropping on you, mind you, it can actually still play the passing lane if it didn't commit to that. So when you think to pass to their corner, then they can still lane it with their crazy range, max wingspan, 6'9", super fast and agile. But then even still, if they did commit to it, they have insane block capabilities, and this is not an overrated thing in the game at all. 99 block can make a lot of things happen. And whether it's the rangy effect of it, being able to like insanely play that block with the high flying denier and the paint patroller, or the jump contest that it provides as well, is also ridiculous. So what I'm trying to say is the impact a build like this can make off ball is really important as well. And the fact that it doesn't need to just guard ball, and it can even guard bigs. It can guard corners. It can guard on ball. It can guard the hash. It can guard anywhere. It truly is a 1 through 5 build, and the versatility is just as important as the rest of your team allows it to be. So anyway, let's come back to the menu, finalize the thoughts on this video, and talk about this truly, which is the best. And I'll give you, I don't like to give a definitive answer on this, because to be honest with you, I think that it's not that simple, and I think it very much so is stylistically based. But let's just talk simply which truly is the best. So for general players, I would say people that don't load up with a squad, this is the best build right here. 6'6", you can fight through everything. If you're good and your teammates aren't, this is how you get wins as a lockdown. Truly, it doesn't have to be a system product or anything like that. You don't have to be a, cog of the machine that is essentially just going along with how good is the rest of your team, this can carry as a lockdown 100%. If you're going against a really good shifty point guard and the rest of your team sucks at the game, this is exactly who to play on right here. Now, if your whole team actually sucks and isn't good on offense or defense, I think this is the type of build that actually could carry. You take a slight hit defensively, boom, right? It's not perfect as a lockdown, but it can still get the job done enough to still be your team's pure lock very decently, I would think, and then still be an off-ball sharp that can really like carry with just the off-ball movement, dexing around. It still has the 86 speed of ball like we were just saying, but 99.3 is a true threat that cannot be messed with in this game. And when you're actually pairing that with high speed as well, it's insane. It's going to be tough to guard. So then this right here is more of like a role player, where if the rest of your team has really good team carry offensively, you have a 5-out point guard, you have a pick and roll unit that like is really just getting 80% of the buckets on your team's offensive, at side of the court. This is exactly who you'd want to be on. Switchable. Not to mention that it needs to be paired with another teammate that obviously still has that type of versatility. But anyway, we've been yapping about that plenty. So what is the overall actual best build of the three of them? You guys are not going to like what I have to say about this, but I think the mini locks truly just bring so much to the table. I think this is hard to debate the fact that this actually would be the best build, in my opinion. Now, that's my opinion, to be fair, and that's coming from the guy who's very slasher based. It's very interior scoring based, and I'm here to tell you right now that a build like this is something I'd rather less see on the court than something like this right here of the 6'6". My true personal opinion is that if this build were guarding me, I feel like it'd be nearly the exact same thing as a 6'6" build. I think it could guard me just as well on the meter dunks. I think it could cut me off just as good with the speed and agility. I think the lack of steal maybe would be a little bit less intimidating, to be fair. And then it also wouldn't pull me out of meter dunks, but honestly, if you get beat off the dribble, you get beat off the dribble. I don't think I really have to worry about a 6'6" on the chase downs or anything like that either. I think this truly, as an offensive and defensive threat, would be significantly better than a 6'6". I think if you were to put anybody who uses a 6'6" lock on a build like this, they would just be better at the game, and they would provide even more of a threat on the offensive side of the court and really not lose a whole lot of threat on the defensive side of the court either, if you ask me. Now, the jump contests are worse, to be fair. If you were guarding, let's say, a super crazy, zigzag back and forth point guard, I think that's where something like this actually is more superior. And that's why it's a little bit hard to put my stamp on what I think is truly the best of the three of them, and where each build kind of, positively gains and negatively loses, essentially. So I know it's maybe not something that you wanted to hear, to be fair, and it's just my opinion. I'm here for the debate. I'm cool with it, fellas. Like, if you think the 6'6" is better, if you think the 6'7" is better, if you think the tall switchable locks are better, if you are team small lock, I think it's a little bit of an off-meta thing, and I'm not really speaking to popular belief because let me tell you, I haven't seen too many people play on a build like this, right? But when I see Waff come out here on his super, mini lock coming out here with, 99 speed, 99 agility, because let me show you something as well. You can make these on some crazy stuff, bro. If you go low weight and also still have that 99.3, and granted his doesn't even have 99.3. I think what his has is more along the lines of 93 pointer, and it has higher ability on the perimdy. Let me actually fine tune this, because I think it's more along the lines of something like this right here, where it would have the 99 perim while still having 98 speed, 98 agility. Let me tell you right now, this is a menace to society. This is an insane pure lock build right here that I don't want anywhere near me, while also still having good threat on the three-pointer. But I'm telling you, man, speed and agility are king when it comes to cutting people off, and this is capable for sure. It's just expensive in every way possible. So I don't know if it's exactly a great overall build, but it would be great as a lockdown build, 100%. Anyway, if you want to see something like that, feel free to check out Waff's channel as well. I might link it down below, or at him, or also he'd be in the comments a lot as well with the pure green profile picture, all caps on the comments. You guys have seen him plenty of times. So anyway, shout out Waff, shout out everybody I've played with, Salt and stuff on the 6'9", 99 block, Kitchen, Connor. We've played with so many people on builds like this as well, and I'm a guy that likes this in my system, to be fair. I am someone that at the end of the day myself likes versatility on the switching, and if I were to choose what I want on the court with me, it would be something like this, to be fair, because that is what I like to play with a little bit more. I do play very versatile in my defensive kind of roles, and I myself am a 6'8" that likes to play on-ball D, so I play versatilely. I like to switch on to bigs if I need to, and I like having someone with me that can do so. So anyway, that's enough of the yap. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. Like always, try to want 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video and you want to show support that you did, put either of these heights in the comments, show support that you want, that you made it all the way through, whichever you like the most. You could even put anything, you know, 6'4" through 6'9". You could put 6'5", you could put 6'7", you could put 6'8". It's like the 3 heights that I didn't show personally, but they also still group into, you know, the category that I kind of showed, that I explained them on, that was on this screen right here. So like, you know, boom, duo, duo, duo. I think these actually family kind of group up together quite a bit. I don't think they differ too much between the two of them at all. So anyway, that's all video. Hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I'll be trying to stream today or tomorrow and try and find a better version of that 6999 block lock, and we can like lab up a little bit as a group if you're interested in stuff like that. And I'm gonna try and do stuff like that a little bit more on the channel as well. So anyway, that's all. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.